How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Tulsi Gabbard dropping out of the race to try and become the 2020 Democratic presidential nominee. Now, this is of no surprise. I mean, we've seen the recent polls, we've seen the Super Tuesdays and all the other primaries that have happened since then. We know what she's polling at. We know how many delegates she has. She couldn't even win American Samoa, where she's actually from. Like, she's a quarter Samoan. She was born on American Samoa. Her dad is half Samoan. She couldn't even win that. I think she won one delegate out there, which is her best performance as of yet. And if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Michael Bloomberg won more delegates on American Samoa than she did. So there was no way she had any chance of being able to succeed and become the Democratic nominee. Not at all. I did not know why she was still in the race, talking about, well, they should let me debate. I have a lot to say. I'm still running, all this, that, and the third. I'm a woman, and they're not letting me on the stage. Well, you're not on the stage because you have zero chance of being able to grab the nomination. You got Bernie Sanders coming out and saying, hey, if Joe Biden gets the plurality of the votes, I'll go ahead and drop out and let him get it. I've not heard Joe Biden say that, obviously, because the establishment are coalescing around Joe Biden to push him out in front and have him be the presumptive Democratic nominee for the 2020 presidential election. Speaking of everybody coalescing around Joe Biden, so is Tulsi Gabbard. She has come out already and said that she endorses Joe Biden. But I thought that Tulsi Gabbard was so radical and different and not establishment, not the same as everybody else in the DNC, but she's doing the exact same thing that everyone else has done. Your Amy Klobuchar, Buttigieg, everybody except for Warren has endorsed Joe Biden. Maybe even Warren at a particular point in time will come out and endorse Joe Biden. So it begs the question, what was the allure behind Tulsi Gabbard? What made her so special? I don't know, some of them thirst traps, as the cool kids would call it, Insta snaps, pictures of her working out, midriff showing, surfing. You know, Tulsi Gabbard, the reason why she was doing so well, in my humble opinion, is not because she proclaimed to be anti-war, because everybody's anti-war. Nobody's going to go out on stage and say that I want to have a war start under my administration. She was no different than anybody else. That was just her shtick that she will always say. I'm anti-war, I'm anti-establishment, is that and the third. But I saw through it. I saw through it the whole time. I'm like, look, what we have here is a person that is presenting themselves as a moderate AOC. Decent looking for a politician, but if you just saw her in the restaurant or in the grocery store, you might not look twice. That's just the reality of the situation. I'm not trying to be sexist. I'm not trying to be chauvinistic or misogynistic or anything. I'm just being 1000% honest. But for now, I digress. Let's talk about Tulsi right quick. Why did she drop out? Like I said, had no real path forward. Why did she support Joe Biden? I mean, it's clear. She's part of the establishment. Why do I say that? Beneath the shtick of being anti-war and, you know, not being part of the establishment, wanting to try to fight against the DNC, beneath all that BS is a person that is strongly establishment. This whole impeachment kerfuffle, remember that, because let's not forget Tulsi Gabbard is in the House and she had a vote on the impeachment thing. She voted present. Now, why not just vote one way or the other? You can't just say, oh, well, I don't know if I support this or not. You can't do that when you're the president. If they say, Ms. Gabbard, here's the red button, you're going to push it or not. You can't just be like, oh, I don't know. What do you think? It's like, okay, Tulsi, you're not an 18-year-old girlfriend in college talking about, you know, you want to go to Chick-fil-A or CC's Pizza. We're talking about something very serious here, like the security of the entire nation and the world by proxy. So you got to be decisive in your action. If you can't even vote whether you want to impeach the president or not, then how are you going to be a leader nation? The reason why she didn't vote yay and voted present instead is because she wanted to vote yay, but to keep up this facade of her being anti-establishment and kind of a moderate person, kind of a centrist, she had to vote present. To vote present is the same as voting yay, Because if you really want to buck against the establishment, you say no. There should be enough evidence there to vote for it or against it. You can't do this fence riding thing when you are an elected official. People elect you in the office to make decisions, not to not vote, not to not make decisions. It doesn't make any sense, but I'll move on. She's also a big time gun grabber. Okay, talking about, oh, well, I support your rights, all this and that. I was in the military. I'll fight for your rights. But she's a big time gun grabber. Okay, that's a fact. She also is taking pictures with people of Antifa. Now, I'm not sure if she knew they were Antifa or not, but I'm not seeing anything about Tulsi Gabbard that would make me think that she's not kind of the Antifa crowd. Let's go to her background right quick. Do you know that she's part of like a religion that's based on the yogi principles? Like her parents are pretty much hippies. Okay. Might as well be a Scientologist. Now, if you're part of her religion, her little group or whatever, don't shoot me. Ask her about it. She's not said much about her religious background. I wonder why. Is it a secret? Can we not know about it? If you're being held hostage, Tulsi Gabbard, blink a few times fast, we'll come get you. But I'll move on. Kind of a shady past. Don't know much about her. All you see is some Insta-snap videos, a couple of quotes on a debate stage, wrecking Kamala Harris, that type of thing. Okay, you see that, but you don't really look at exactly what's going on. When all the candidates or potential candidates were on stage at a Democratic debate, probably about 2 or 3 months ago, and they were asked by the moderator, do you support free healthcare for illegal aliens? They all raised their hand, including Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard. So when people say, oh, Andrew Yang is different, he's not part of the establishment, he's what we really need in the Democratic Party, and the same thing with Tulsi Gabbard, what about them is any different? I don't see any point that they differ on. She's pro-abortion, pro-gun grabbing, pro-giving healthcare to illegal aliens. I don't really see how she'd be any different. If anything, she'd be more radical and less moderate. I don't see anything about her that would be moderate at all. All that she had was an image that people kind of bought into a little bit on the left and a little bit on the right. Obviously not enough on the left, because she couldn't really crack any kind of delegate ceiling to save her life. It's kind of funny that Tulsi Gabbard has dropped out now. Who do you have running in the Democratic Party to try to be the 2020 Democratic presidential nominee? You have 77-year-old and most likely senile and dementia-ridden Joe Biden and a 78-year-old recent heart attack survivor and Bernie Sanders. So the party that says we want inclusion, we want diversity, we want new people, young people, all this, that, and the third, now have the oldest, most establishment white men that you could possibly dig up. I mean, if either one of these guys became a nominee and won, they'd be the oldest president in history. Either one, pick Joe Biden or Bernie, they'd be the oldest president to get elected in history. Older than Trump, and Trump's no spring chicken. Trump is old himself, but he's not as old as them. Reagan, everybody else, they're old, but these two fossils got one foot in the grave, and they both look terrible. That's just the reality of the situation. Bernie had a heart attack. Joe Biden don't know where he is. That's what you want to put out there in the forefront. But your party is a party of inclusion. Your party is a party of quote unquote diversity. Your party has all the new ideas, and you're so anti-establishment, and you're so, raucous and against the grain. If that is where your party is headed, and that's what you're about, then I can't tell by your nominee to become the president. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Are you surprised that Tulsi Gabbard dropped out? If you are, let me know why in the comments below. If you're not surprised, let me know why in the comments below. I'm not surprised. She had no real path forward. Nobody was really checking to vote for her. And like I was talking about as far as the Democratic Party's quote unquote diversity, it does not appear that the Democratic Party, at least the voters, are too much concerned about diversity. This particular race, you had more diverse candidates that had been around in any other race prior, as far as I know. I mean, look, you had Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang, Cory Booker, Kamala Harris. I think Deval Patrick is still there, Wayne Messam. You had a lot of guys that were in the race and girls that were in the race that are no longer. Pocahontas, Amy Klobuchar, as far as women are concerned. You had them in the race, and now what? You got two old white men, millionaire white men at that. So the same people that you hate all the time, talk about on Twitter, your Insta, Snap, Facebook, whatever, you're talking about them terribly, about how they're scum of the earth, but yet these are your leaders. I'm seeing a disconnect between what people say on the Democratic Party side of things and what they actually do when it comes to putting people in office. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.